What's up guys, and welcome to my Juri breakdown. Just like Urian, we're going to break down Juri's moveset, including her normals, specials, super, and of course her V system. Also a friendly reminder that this character is unfinished, so everything I'm saying is definitely subject to change when she finally releases. But of course we have more than enough information to get started. So let's kick this off by saying that Juri has 950 health and 950 stun, so a little below average. Let's talk about her movement now. Her forward walk speed is really fast, especially compared to her back walk speed, so her general movement is quick. Along with her movement speed, her dash forward speed is also very quick, reaching the opponent full screen in just 3 forward dashes, and her back dash is quite good too. As for her jump, it seems a pretty average arc, and it's a little floaty, just slightly. Juri's forward throw does 2 hits, and she stays relatively close to the opponent. Her back throw only does 1 hit, and she's a little further than her opponent, like most back throws. Juri also has an air throw. And if you guys are curious, this is Juri's taunt. Alright, let's start with Juri's normals now. Let's start with Standing Light Punch. This is really fast, it has a 3-frame startup, chains into itself, and of course it's cancelable. Now we're looking at Standing Medium Punch. It starts up in 5 frames, is special cancelable, and has decent horizontal range and links in the Standing Light Kick. Now this is Standing Hard Punch. I know it looks like a kick, but it starts up in 8 frames and it does good damage and you can cancel from it. It's also a decent anti-air for far-reaching jumps. Now this is her Standing Light Kick. It starts up in 4 frames and it's still cancelable. It's good for ending light hit confirms because of the range. Moving on to Standing Medium Kick, it starts up in 6 frames and it actually does 2 hits. The first hit is cancelable and it's a decent poke. Now we have Juri's Standing Hard Kick. This starts up in 14 frames. It's rather slow, but it is very high profile and advances her forward. If you're curious, it's -4 on block, so it can be rather safe if you do it at max distance. It is also one of Juri's crush counters, putting the opponent to a spinning state, allowing for an easy combo afterwards. Alright, let's talk about crouching normals now. Let's start with her Crouching Light Punch. This starts up in 4 frames and chains into itself. Now we have Crouching Medium Punch. This starts up in 5 frames and has decent range, and it's also cancelable. Moving on to Crouching Hard Punch. This starts up in 8 frames, and of course it looks like a kick again. It has good range and damage, and it forces standing. It's also a quite reliable anti-air, but it's kind of slow startup. This is also Juri's second crush counter, which also puts your opponent into a spinning state, allowing you to easily combo on the ground afterwards. What's interesting though is that if you do this as an anti-air and get a crush counter, it actually puts a knock-up state on the opponent, making a really easy juggle combo afterwards. Now we're looking at Crouching Light Kick. This is Juri's second 3-frame normal. It chains into itself, and it's a starter for low hit confirms. This is Juri's Crouching Medium Kick, which starts up in 6 frames, and this is her furthest low hitting normal that's cancelable. Finally, we have Crouching Hard Kick, which starts up in 8 frames. Decent range, but of course it's unsafe, just like any other sweep in the game. Alright, let's talk about jumping normals now. This is her Jumping Light Punch, which is a fast air-to-air normal. This is Juri's Jumping Medium Punch, and just like in Street Fighter 4, it puts the opponent to a juggle state on hit if you hit him air-to-air. It's basically used in juggle combo situations. This is her Jumping Hard Punch, and it continues the trend of looking like a kick. It's got good horizontal range. This is her Jumping Light Kick, and this is a cross-up attack. This is her Jumping Medium Kick, and it's also a cross-up attack, and it's got a decent hitbox. Finally, we have her Jumping Hard Kick. Good horizontal range. I would say this is her jumping of choice. And here's me just showing the cross-up attacks, Jumping Light Kick and Jumping Medium Kick. Alright, let's talk about her command normals now. She has 2 of them. Let's start with her Forward Medium Kick. This is Juri's overhead attack, and it starts up in 22 frames. You can't combo afterwards because it's only 0 on hit. Now we're looking at Juri's back hard kick. She does a 2-hitting axe kick, and it looks and functions pretty much exactly like reuse. Both hits of this kick are cancelable, and it's a really easy hit confirm into stuff like Standing Light Punch, Crouching Light Punch, and Standing Light Kick. It also forces standing on hit. Okay, let's talk about target combos now. This is Standing Medium Punch into forward or back hard punch. This is a launcher target combo, and it whiffs on crouchers. Both hits are cancelable and can juggle into V skill. Can be jump cancelled during V trigger to follow up with Jumping Medium Punch for a juggle. Finally, we have an air target combo. This is jumping medium punch into jumping hard kick. This can be done to opponents air to air as well, so it's good damage that way, and for building white damage on block. You can't do it too low to the ground though, but if you do hit your opponent with it when they're standing, it knocks them down. Alright, time to talk about special moves. Now this first special move is very layered, so let's just start from the beginning here. This is done with core circle forward and kick. First, Juri will do a kick attack, which will knock down the opponent on hit. Afterwards, Juri will gain a charge that is indicated on the bottom left of the screen, right beside the V gauge. Now the type of charge you get depends on the strength used when you inputted the special, so there are 3 total: light kick, medium kick, and hard kick. Each charge is different and you can have multiple charges at once for 3 total. The initial kick attack also has a projectile hitbox, easily nullifying projectiles. And of course you can still combo into this attack, gaining a charge and knocking down your opponent at the same time. Alright, let's talk about the second part now. To release a charge, simply input the special again with the same strength you used. In this example, we went core circle forward and light kick to get the light kick charge, and then you input core circle forward, light kick again, and it will release the charge. Releasing Juri's light kick charge does a very low to the ground projectile. This fireball goes underneath most other projectiles, but it doesn't knock down the opponent. Also, the opponent can block this while standing. The fireball moves quite slow and travels a very short distance. Now releasing the medium kick charge will instead have Juri do a lunging attack, which beats lows. Now this special is a great combo extender because it leaves you +6 on hit. You can link in the crouching medium punch or crouching medium kick, for example, afterwards. Despite its appearance, this attack does not hit overhead. Now releasing the hard kick charge does a double hitting attack that knocks down the opponent. This is more like a combo ender. Now the crazy part is all these charge attacks can cancel the recovery into the other charge attack. So if you have all 3 charges up, you can do something like core circle forward medium kick into core circle forward light kick into core circle forward hard kick. So this is kind of a big twist to how Juri worked in Street Fighter 4 with her projectile attacks. Now it's just the light kick charge that does a projectile, so you have to kind of find a use for everything now. So this is the EX version of the core circle forward kick, and as you can see, it's a combination of all 3 charge attacks. So it's a multi-hitting kick attack. You do not need any charges to do this EX move, and having charges will not affect this EX move, it will be the same. Alright, let's talk about Juri's Pinwheel special now. The input is Dragon Punch motion with kick. The light kick version leaves the opponent standing and combos from lights, and it deals the least amount of damage. It travels horizontal. The medium kick version travels upwards and has invincibility. This is great as an anti-air. The hard kick version travels the highest, does the most damage, and also has some invincibility to it. The EX version seems to have the best of all worlds: invincibility, speed, and damage. This will most likely be Juri's best anti-air because of the invincibility and speed. Because the medium kick, hard kick, and EX versions have invincibility, it is counter hit on recovery and the opponent can punish you with a crush counter. Now let's talk about Juri's next special attack. This is done with core circle back and kick. Once again, despite its appearance, this is not an overhead. The strength you use determines the speed and the distance it covers, and all versions knock the opponent down on hit. All 3 versions can be comboed into from different normals. One of the key uses of this special is that it actually goes over projectiles, including the light kick version. Besides that, it's a decent combo ender. Now the EX version goes a fair amount of distance, goes pretty high, and when it hits the opponent it knocks him up, allowing you to juggle afterwards. Okay, so that's all the specials. Let's talk about Juri's critical art now. This is performed with quarter circle back twice into kick. This is a projectile based critical art, and it doesn't go quite full screen and has a really good vertical hitbox. This comes out pretty fast, and the strength you use does not affect the projectile speed in any way. You can easily combo into this from a various amount of specials and normals. It deals 330 damage, which is pretty much the standard, and it knocks down. Juri also removes her eye patch after performing the super, if you didn't already remove it with the V trigger, for the remainder of the round. This is fast enough to hit the opponent jumping even if he neutral jumps. Okay, let's talk about Juri's V system now. Let's start with her V reversal. This is done with forward and all 3 kicks. Now Juri's V reversal is a strike attack that leads into an automatic follow-up on hit. So if Juri doesn't hit the opponent with this attack, it will simply just whiff and she won't do the follow-up. This knocks down the opponent on hit and it leaves the opponent a little bit away from her. Alright, let's talk about Juri's V skill now. Just tapping the V skill will make Juri travel about half a screen distance, and if she reaches the opponent, she'll attack him on the opposite side, and this is a cross-up attack. You can also charge this V skill by holding down the medium buttons, and then after a certain amount of time when you release it, Juri will instead attack at the front of the opponent and it will also travel full screen doing 2 hits. It's easy to tell the 2 versions because the ground pulses when it's ready to be released. If you hold it down, she'll release it automatically eventually, and she also disappears when she travels forward. The charged up version of her V skill also goes completely through projectiles. Now while charging the V skill, you can simply dash cancel out of it. You can dash forward or back. You can also cancel this V skill for many of Juri's normals, and even in some situations combo into it. Both versions knock down the opponent on hit. Hitting them with the normal version gains you, I would say, about a third of 1 bar of V gauge, and a fully charged one is about 40% of 1 bar of V gauge. You only gain V gauge if you make contact with your opponent. It doesn't gain V gauge on whiff. While charging the V skill, you can let go of the medium buttons while you're traveling to cancel it completely, kind of like a juke. So you can use this to close the distance, or you can go for a grab. You can also use this for some shenanigans such as throwing a projectile and then acting like you're going to cross up your opponent with the V skill, or just stopping right in front of them. Alright, so finally let's talk about Juri's V trigger. Juri removes her eye patch for the rest of the round and then enters a limited passive empowered state. This V trigger costs 3 bars of V gauge. In this empowered state, one of the things Juri gains is the ability to chain all of her attacks together. The normal attacks she can chain are the normals of the same strength or higher, so she can go light punch, light kick, medium kick into hard punch, hard kick. During her empowered state, her V gauge turns into a timer, and every time you chain into an attack, her timer decreases. She almost has enough timer to complete 2 full strings. This includes crouching strings. This V trigger also improves Juri's dash distance. She can reach the opponent in just 2 dashes. This empowered state also gives Juri access to all of her charge kick attacks until the timer runs out. The light kick version of her charge attack is also improved. The projectile goes much further and much faster and does 2 hits and knocks down the opponent. It also breaks the fireball rule, and you can have multiple projectiles on the screen at once. Doing any kick charge attack will drain your V gauge. You can easily combo into Juri's V trigger, and all of her charge kick attacks still cancel into each other. And yeah guys, that pretty much wraps it up for everything I know about Juri. Thanks a lot for taking the time to watch this video guys. I hope you've learned something. Juri is planning to be coming out at the end of this month, which was recently announced at the end of EVO. Let me know what you guys think about Juri so far, and if you guys are planning on using her when she is released. Take care guys, and I'll see you next time.